Am I the a-hole for not wanting to meet or get to know my birth family after they tracked me down and reached out? I, 29 male, was adopted as an infant by my parents. They already had my older brother who was 3 at the time. They adopted my sister 3 years after they adopted me. I was raised in a loving, happy home. We were all treated the same, and my brother, their bio son, was not favored or treated any differently for being blood. None of us were lied to about the circumstances of our family. My parents were open about adopting my sister and me. They never tried to demonize our birth families either. They knew practically nothing about our birth families, but they still spoke of them kindly and compassionately. Maybe it's just in my nature, or maybe it's because I had such a good life, but I never wondered about my birth family. No part of me ever considered trying to find them or have a relationship. I was just happy as I am. My life is good. I have a wonderful wife, 2 great kids, amazing parents and siblings-in-law and grandparents. For me, there's nothing missing. That's why it took me a while to respond 6 months ago when I was contacted by people saying they were my birth parents, and it was confirmed true, telling me their story and wanting to connect with me. They broke up for 5 years after I was born, and then they got back together and had more kids, and only had an interest in me for the last 2. Before that, they never thought about me. Their kids wanted to know me. Their kids really wanted to know me. I have received more than 24 messages from their kids since my birth parents reached out. It took a while, 11 weeks or so, for me to reply and state I had a great life, but did not wish to connect with them, so please leave me be. Then I blocked the accounts and made my socials private. About 3 weeks later, I received an email telling me they did not think it was fair and that I should at least meet the kids. I didn't respond, and 2 months after the first email, I got another one stating they had family medical history they would share with me only if I agreed to meet them and let them spend some time getting to know me. This was followed up by an email from their children saying I should really consider why I don't want to meet my real family and why I'm so loyal to parents who bought me. Some info given to me by my birth family around my adoption for those who might need any extra info. My birth parents were 16 when I was born. They put me up for adoption via an agency, but did not meet or choose my parents. The choice was given to the woman at the agency who set it all up for them. They didn't leave any letter or family medical history to be passed on to me and never collected a letter my parents wrote to them when they adopted me. They have zero interest in ever reading that letter. Their kids are all mostly adults and found out about me through other birth family members and not my birth parents. Their kids wanted to meet me as soon as they found out about me. They found me through some PI online, and I don't know how much contact info they have for me. They never mentioned his name, but I wish he had reached out to me first, so I could have said no, because now I have no idea what ways they could realistically reach me. They don't know I'm married or have children, it seems. My family supports my decision, regardless of which way I decide. But I have had some backlash from some fellow adoptees I know, who say they would love what's being offered to me and they think it's selfish for me to deny them the chance to get to know me and to deny my kids' blood relatives. So this has made me ask if I'm wrong. I don't feel like I am when I ask myself the question, but I don't know if I can accept that I never gave these people a chance, and it's because I don't feel I should have to. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You don't owe them anything. If you don't wish to have a relationship with the bio parents or siblings, it's okay. They had a choice and now you do. It is fair. Good to hear you were brought up in a loving home. They raised you to be a secure adult. Good luck. This OP, they made a choice based on what was best for them, and now you get to do the same. If they stated that your family bought you, please see that for the red flag it is. That and their almost desperate need to connect with someone they don't know is suspicious. Not the a-hole. So they don't take no for an answer. They try to guilt trip you by saying it's unfair. They want to cast shade on your parents, saying they bought you. And then they imply there may be a medical issue that they will only disclose to you if you do what they want? Wow, who wouldn't want to get to know them? Not the a-hole. I'd never read or respond to any of them again. That's where I'm going next. Mark their emails as spam and ignore. You know, I was on the edge of siding with the bio siblings until I read that they said your parents bought you. Did I read that right? If I did, then you. I get that they did know they had a brother and are curious about you, but it seems like they are trying to take your peace and barter it for medical history. They may be adults, but they didn't seem to hear the word no much growing up. Not the a-hole OP. Maybe in the future you might change your mind, but for now, protect your family. Protect your peace. Stay strong, random internet stranger, and keep us posted. You read that right. They said my parents paid their parents money for me, which meant they purchased a human-like property or a physical item you can own. All I could think was, their parents put me up for sale, if we look at it that way. Next story. Am I the a-hole I took my granddad off life support against his children's wishes? My grandfather was in his late 80s and had been in end-of-life care in a nursing home for a while. My grandmother passed a few years ago, and I have been doing most of the work caring for him besides what the nursing home does. My mom and her two sisters were close to their mom, but not as close to their dad. He and I were like best friends. Because I was the primary adult looking out for him, he made me his power of attorney. When he'd be in the hospital and we discussed end-of-life care, he was very clear with me that he wanted a DNR, do not resuscitate, and did not want to be kept alive suffering. About a week ago, he had a massive stroke. He was taken from the nursing home to the hospital, where they told us very clearly that it looked bad. They had him on life support and on the third day did brain scans and told us that they did not see any meaningful activity and that he was likely never coming back. They said the movements we had been asking about were all involuntary and that he was not, in fact, aware of us talking or holding his hand. It absolutely broke my heart, but I knew it was his time sooner rather than later and that this was always possible given his fragile health and state. So I did what I knew he wanted me to do, and I withdrew life support. My mother and two aunts definitely disagreed and stated that I was killing him and was hurting his chances by not believing he would recover. They believe in standing on faith and praying. He passed peacefully the fourth night. My mom and aunts are furious. They said I killed their dad and that I should have given him more time. It's time to make arrangements for his services now, and they want nothing to do with me. They won't talk to me. They won't include me. I have no idea what they're doing. So I'm starting to make the arrangements without them. I love my family, and this is unbelievable. I felt like I was doing the right thing, but now I don't know. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. You followed his wishes with every legal right to boot. End of story. I'm bawling my eyes out, scared to death I'd made the wrong choice. I'm so grateful to hear anyone else say I honored him and did the right thing. Losing anyone is so hard. The whole purpose of advance directives are for situations like this. He told you what he wanted if this kind of situation happened and trusted you would do what he wished enough that he gave you the legal authority to do just that. You didn't kill him. You gave him dignity at the end of his life by following through with what he wanted. You are a jewel and an amazing grandchild for doing this, and in no way the a-hole. The a-hole is the person who defies the wishes stated in the advance directive. I'm so moved by all the support here. Who would have ever thought Reddit would be a place to find support? Edit. This got a tremendous amount of response very quickly. I did not expect the outpouring of love and support I have received here, especially not in the Am I the A-hole Reddit group. While I cannot answer every comment, I am doing my best to read them all because you all spent the time to write them. I'm moved beyond words. I can't thank you all enough. You've given me the strength to stand by the decision I made to my family and to my own children who are hurting, losing contact with their grandmother over this. Death is ugly and painful. I'm so grateful to hear all of your stories and perspectives. I feel confident now that he would be proud, no matter how hard it was signing that paper. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Next story. Should I tell my husband that if he doesn't lose weight and get his health in order, I want a divorce? My husband Mark, 26 male, and I, 25 female, have been together for 10 years, and I love him unconditionally, no matter what we look like. When we first got together as teenagers, we were both so much smaller. But in the last 3 to 4 years, he's put on over 200 pounds. I don't even care about the number on the scale. That's not what bothers me. What kills me is that his weight has caused stage 2 hypertension, prediabetes, and sleep apnea. At his heaviest, he was almost 480 pounds. He was prescribed meds to help with blood pressure and weight loss, but he never takes them consistently, so they don't even work. I've tried everything to get him to eat better or move more. At one point, he lost over 30 pounds, but now he's back at 435. And then I find out that 2 months ago, he just decided to stop taking his meds completely because he didn't think he needed them. Now his blood pressure is worse, and the weight is climbing again. His doctor told him he's at serious risk of a stroke or heart disease if he is not taking his medication consistently. It's beyond frustrating. We have a baby, and we're expecting another. And I cannot babysit a grown man every single day to make sure he takes his pills, eats healthy, and gets some exercise, while I'm also working full-time and caring for our kid. He won't go on walks with us. He wanted a bike that he never touches. And when I even offered to pay for boxing lessons, because he said it would be fun, he said no. It honestly feels like I'm going to be a widow by 30 with 2 little kids, because he won't take his own health seriously. And I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. I can't just sit here and watch him die. And if I bring it up, he says it's really rude and he'd never ask me to lose weight, or he's working on it. I love him and do not want a divorce. But I feel like maybe an ultimatum is the only thing that will click for him to take this seriously. Any advice? Edit. I should add he was diagnosed with depression our senior year of high school and has been to therapy for it in the past, but refuses to go again because he doesn't think it's the same. He does go to a weight management doctor and they prescribed him something to help him lose weight, but I'm not sure of the brand name. He's not taking it consistently anyway. He does not want to go to therapy. I've already asked many times. He sees it as a non-issue and a waste of money. I also want to add that my husband is a very tall man with broad shoulders, so he carries his weight well. All the comments saying I don't love my husband because he's fat are heartbreaking. I've tried to reiterate that I love him no matter his size. I loved him when he was a skinny kid, and I love him now. This has nothing to do with weight itself. It's about his health. I can't sit back and watch him slowly die, or worse, our children, or me, finding him dead in the future. The final straw for me was when the doctors told us he's at risk for a stroke or heart disease. People saying negative things about him don't understand that he is an amazing man. He is a devoted father and would give the last dollar in his pocket to someone who needed it. He truly deserves everything good in life. I just want him to be healthy and live a long life with me. I do not want a divorce to get away from him. I love him. I just don't know what else to do when he won't help himself. Ultimatums only work if you are willing to follow through on that. If he's not willing to take the meds he's prescribed, or for you and your kids, and not even himself, then there's nothing you can do. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. My dear, you are in a lose-lose situation. You can stay and watch him kill himself, or leave and struggle to raise your kids without him. Actually, you will be without him either way. Can you possibly get him into marriage counseling? A good counselor may be able to show him how he is traumatizing and hurting the one he should love and protect. If you stay, just make sure you have solid life insurance, since he wants to gamble on his health like that. To me, this sounds like a man who is killing himself, because what he consumes is the only control he feels like he has over his life, and that is a very clear symptom of disordered eating. Get him into therapy with someone versed in eating disorders, and make it a hill to die on, because if you don't, he will. Last story. Am I the a-hole for slapping my sister-in-law in front of her whole family? I have been with my husband for over 10 years. My husband has a fairly large, close-knit family, and they have get-togethers pretty often. Aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, sisters, grandparents, the works. He has 3 younger sisters. The one this story is about is the middle of the 3, and she's 4 years younger than us. We'll call her Mary. I, on the other hand, have a smaller family, including 2 sisters, and we really did not get along well growing up. I won't go into it, but in short, my mom was crazy manipulative, and we were all pitted against each other, which resulted in us constantly being at each other's throats. So on to Mary. Mary is generally a nice girl, but at times she can be too much. She has a tendency to take things that don't belong to her without asking. That's my nice way of saying she is a straight-up thief. She will eat every piece of cookie dough out of the ice cream and lie to your face about it. She will literally leave menstrual blood on the toilet and floor and deny it was her. And I once saw her take, I kid you not, 7 out of 10 pieces of garlic bread before anyone else could have any, and without leaving enough for everyone. Again, she can be very nice at times, but she is also so very selfish and dramatic. So here's what happened. My husband's aunt was hosting the get-together. Everybody was there. Everything was going well. There was a big group of us hanging in the living room chatting, including his grandmother, who took her matriarch role quite seriously. Mary approached me, my husband, and his mom, and while we were talking to his mom, she suddenly decided that she was going to pretend to punch me in the face, over and over and over. I kept talking but gave her a look signaling that she should stop. She did not stop. After another minute of letting her act out whatever impulse she was having, I told her clearly to knock it off. Again, she didn't. Instead, she got closer and grazed my nose with her fist. On pure instinct, literally before I could even register what I was doing, I full-on slapped her. The room collectively gasped, and then everyone was completely silent and just stared at me. Mary just held her face and looked surprised, and then I blurted, "Well, I told her to stop." Now everyone is torn. Some people think I was wrong to slap her, and some people think I warned her and she deserved it. I'm starting to feel bad because truly, I did not mean to do it. I think I flashed back to all the fights I had with my sisters growing up, and my hand literally just flew up and hit her. Also, I broke my nose when I was a kid, and even the slightest hit to my nose causes the bump on my bridge to tear open and bleed. Just to say that I am instinctively very protective of my nose. So, am I the a-hole for slapping my sister-in-law? Honestly, very funny. I just imagined the most brutal backhand. But yeah, not the a-hole. It was a reflex built upon irritation. You did communicate to her, clearly, to knock it off. If you had only given her the look, then slapped her, then it's harder to make a case for you. But anyone that comes up play punching after being told not to is literally asking for it. Especially if she touches you. That's a wind-up. The consequence was equivalent. Even without the trauma response, your sister-in-law still sucks. All of the other stuff isn't really relevant to what happened. She just sucks. And it seems like you wanted us to know she sucks. Doesn't really matter if she is nice sometimes. Anyone can pretend to be nice. Socially, we are pressured to do it. She's just bad at it. Info. Why the heck did no one stop her when she was clearly harassing and annoying you? Sounds like their unwillingness to stop Mary from being a jerk, even if Mary didn't realize she was being one, played a large part in how things turned out. I wish I had a good answer. The whole time I was just waiting for literally anyone else to step in. I think everyone is just used to her antics at this point. She's 20, and she is not on the spectrum, no diagnoses that would explain this kind of behavior. I mean, honestly, she is perfectly typical. She just acts like this sometimes, like she wants to get a reaction out of you or see how far she can push you, or how much she can get away with. My husband thought it was hilarious. His cousin immediately started laughing out loud, but everyone else gasped and were dead silent for an uncomfortably long time. His mom seems to have moved past it, but I get the feeling his grandma and some aunts are really holding on to it.